everyone and welcome back to Curtain Up, my monthly series where I catch you up on all things theatre related that I've been up to in the past month. July was actually kind of a quiet month for me, and I think looking ahead to the year, this sounds really weird, but I think I knew it was going to be a bit quiet because I'm going to the Edinburgh Fringe in August, so that's obviously going to be a pretty crazy few days, and I feel like in my head I kind of knew that I wouldn't do as much in July, also for a few other reasons which I will talk about in the video. So yeah, it's been a bit of a quiet month in terms of going to the theatre, but it's still been very exciting. So the first thing that I saw in July was The Jungle at the Playhouse Theatre. This was a show that was definitely on my radar. It was previously at the Young Vic Theatre and then has transferred over to the Playhouse. I hadn't looked into tickets yet, but a friend of mine had a spare ticket available and asked if I'd like to join him, so I did, and it was such a powerful piece of theatre. We both kind of struggled with processing during the show and afterwards because it's not your average show. It's not the happiest thing you'll ever see, but it was amazing to see it, and I'm so glad. Like I was going to go and see it anyway because I'd had friends that had seen it at the Young Vic and said it was amazing, and they've completely transformed the Playhouse Theatre as well, which is incredible to see. Yeah, it was a very powerful show. Go and see it, but maybe if you can do like a 2-show day, do that in the afternoon and then see something really light and easy in the evening because it's quite a tough one to digest. Probably the wrong word, but I would recommend seeing it. I think you need to see it. I don't think I've sold it very well to you there, sorry. Thanks Dan for the ticket. I appreciate you thinking of me to go and see it. I really appreciate that. That same day in the evening, so I did a 2-show day, but it wasn't maybe like the jolliest of 2-show days, but I went to see Hamilton again. This was my like birthday treat to go to Hamilton. We'd booked these tickets ages ago in December when it was Hamilton's press night. They quietly put the next block of tickets on for the summer. So my boyfriend and I thought, oh, let's book some for like my birthday. We went on the 4th of July. My birthday's on the 2nd of July, but we thought 4th of July, Independence Day, that's fun. So we went with his parents and it was really great to see the show again. I just get so angry at the lack of leg room in that theatre. I think it is a joke. Fair enough, we were in like the cheap seats, we were in the seats at £37.50, but still, when someone's paying almost £40 each to go and see a show, you expect to not be in pain from the legroom. Like, that's what really annoys me. So it was great to see the show again, but I feel like this time I was a bit more ragey about the like renovation as a whole. It just really irritated me. But the show was great. Just to hate the legroom or lack of. I feel like the first week of July was the busiest thing ever because it was my birthday, I was still on holiday, came back, saw The Jungle and Hamilton. The next day after that I went up to Birmingham because it was the press night for the UK tour of Matilda, which was fantastic. So the press team at the theatre invited me to go see it, which I'm so grateful for. It's absolutely amazing to get invites like that in my email. I absolutely love it. And I love Matilda, so obviously I was more than happy to see the tour cast again, see the tour production again. Obviously I forget to mention this all the time. If you want to see my full thoughts on a show, there's usually a vlog of it and they'll be linked in the description, so you can go and see my full trips and thoughts. I love the Birmingham Hippodrome, I love Matilda, match made in heaven. This was at the start of the heat wave as well, so I feel like the vlogs from there on out is just like me slowly just dying from heat. But Matilda was amazing. Had a great time. Love the Birmingham Hippodrome. And then the next stagey thing I did after that was actually back at the Birmingham Hippodrome. I went up there to go backstage at Matilda. Oh my god. I still can't believe this happened. It just feels like, no, that didn't happen, I dreamt it, because I love going backstage at shows if I can. I think it's such an amazing opportunity and one I am so grateful for. So when I got this invite, I kind of lost my mind a little bit. And Matilda isn't a show that really lets people go backstage often, so I really tried to savour as much of that experience as possible. there's a vlog of it, so you can see bits of it. We got to go on stage, which was insane. They had obviously like the preset for the show, so they had like the birthday table out there, and we got to like touch the food, which felt so weird. We got to see like obviously in the wings and in the wardrobe, and we got to chat to some of the women who work in the wardrobe section, which was so fascinating. I still just can't believe that it happened, and I feel so lucky to get that experience. Unreal, absolutely unreal. After that, I did a 2-show day. I went to see Brief Encounter one Wednesday afternoon, because they sadly announced they were closing early in London. I thought I had until September to see them, but they closed on the 22nd of July, which is really unfortunate, but I'm so glad that I had the opportunity to see it before it closed. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a beautiful piece of theatre, and I loved that it was set in the Empire Cinema on Haymarket. I thought that was really different. It's something I'm fairly sure I've never seen done before, and that mix of theatre and cinema was really magical. So I'm really, really thrilled that I managed to see that. And then in that evening, I went to see A Monster Calls at the Old Vic. This was my first time visiting the Old Vic, actually, and I'm really glad that I've finally been to see something there. I love ticking off a new theatre where I can, well, a theatre that is new to me. And yeah, it's quite shocking that I've never been to the Old Vic before. A Monster Calls, I might have read it when I was a kid, but like so years ago, and I've never seen the film. I feel like that's a fairly recent film, but I've never seen it. The story really hit close to home, so I went to see it on my own, and actually thank God that I did, because I was a mess towards the end of it. Like the last 20 minutes of the show, my entire face was wet from like sweat here, hello heat wave, and then like just tears, and I've not cried like that in a long time, let alone in a theatre. I'm normally pretty reserved in the theatre nowadays. Like if I cry, it would just be like my eyes sort of welling up a little bit, but this was full on like silent, uncontrollable tears. To the point where when the show had finished, I actually just had to, because I was in the middle of the row, I just had to like stand up, let people go past me, but just like keep my head down, not look at anyone. And then I literally had to like sit across from the theatre for like 15 minutes after the show just to like compose myself. So if you're close to grief at the moment, consider that a warning. The show was really beautifully done though, in my opinion. Maybe beautiful is not the right, very cleverly done. It was very simple, and I think that Sally Cookson's direction worked really well for this, because obviously, as you can tell from the title, A Monster Calls, there's some bits where they had to make the monster, and I feel like that's quite a hard thing to do without it looking really cheesy, but I think the way they did it with the use of ropes and such really worked very well. We had actually an amazing understudy on as well, because it was still in previews at this point. The woman playing the mum character, I believe this was the first night she'd done it, because the woman who originally plays her was sick. So she had to like very quickly obviously like brush up on knowing it all, and then the ensemble had to kind of chip into her usual ensemble roles. I believe her name was Nandi Bebe, playing the role of mum, and she was, I mean, I've got nothing else to compare her to, you know, but I think that's amazing that she did that. Sally Cookson actually came out before the show to let us know, which was really great. And yeah, that was amazing. And I really liked the music in this show as well. It's not a musical, it's a play, and obviously just has music. It felt very magical and ethereal. I've never said that word out loud. It's a great word, but I don't know how to pronounce it. But it felt very Cursed Child. If you've seen Cursed Child, you know what I mean, sort of Imogen Heap style music, which worked really well for this production, so that sounded great. And it was really nice to be able to see like the band as well in their little section of the stage. It was very fun staging. Sadly, there won't be a vlog from that because an usher made me delete all of my footage, so yay. But yeah, those are kind of my brief thoughts. Yeah, I don't know if I'll go and see it again because it really kind of, yeah, broke me, but I would recommend seeing it. And it's really great as well that the Old Vic for their previews do the £10 tickets. So yeah, I only spent £10 on seeing it. So that's pretty amazing. For my next theatre trip, I went back to the Other Palace to see Heathers again. Someone had a spare ticket. I saw it on Twitter and I snatched it up from them. I obviously paid them. I didn't just snatch it completely, but this was before the transfer news was announced. Heathers is transferring to Theatre Royal Haymarket. That's another thing that happened this month. But yeah, this ticket I got before that news came out, and I just knew that I'd want to try and see it as many times as I could, so I've got my wish there. But no, it was great to see it again. I'm actually going to be sitting in that same seat again, I think, for the final show of Heathers, so that's kind of good to know what the view's going to be like. I'm excited because a new song has been added to Heathers, which I've not heard yet, but I'll hear it on the final night, and apparently some more changes are going to happen between the Other Palace and Theatre Royal Haymarket, so I can't wait to see what those are like, and also if there's any sort of casting changes. Obviously I hope the set's going to be a bit better, not to say that the Other Palace set is bad, but I think for Theatre Royal Haymarket they'll need to up it a bit, you know, so that's exciting. Yeah, it was really great to see it again. The next theatre trip I had was back at the Other Palace, but not Heathers. I went to see an Edinburgh Fringe preview of a show called 89 Nights. This show was actually on my radar even before this. When I saw it advertised in the Fringe brochure, I thought, oh, that sounds really interesting. And I loved the artwork, so I was like, cool, I'm gonna go see that. And then I won a Twitter competition to go to the preview of it, and I really enjoyed it. I think I will actually go and see it at the Fringe again, because they mentioned at the end of the preview that they are going to obviously have more staging, costumes, and full orchestrations, I think they said, so like a bigger band. And I loved what it sounded like and how it was at the Other Palace, so probably gonna go see it at the Edinburgh Fringe as well. So I'm excited to see how they beef it out a bit. That's the weirdest phrase ever, but I think it applies. The next day I went to the Arts Theatre to see Knights of the Rose? Yeah, Knights of the Rose. There will not be a vlog from that show because I'm trying to not vlog everything nowadays, because also, I'll get onto this in a sec, I sometimes really enjoy just not vlogging and not needing to worry about vlogging, especially when I'm going to something with a friend, which I did for Knights of the Rose, because I just want to be me enjoying a theatre trip. I don't want to have to think about YouTube or anything, and I feel like I've got to a state in my mind where I feel selfish for doing that, but it's silly because it's my time, you know? It's weird. But Knights of the Rose, if you've heard of the show, you've probably heard that it's had pretty bad reviews, and I pretty much agree with all of the reviews that I've read. The book is a bit of a mess. The cast are amazing and I feel sorry for them, because I feel like it's one of those shows where they know that it's not fab, and obviously especially to have been panned by the critics, that's really, really like sad to have to carry on doing the show at like 100%. Yeah, it's a jukebox musical about like medieval times, knights, princesses, war. It tries to be quite serious, but then the song choices they have, they just make such a mockery out of it. I feel like if the show knew that it was, I hate saying this, but like a joke, then it would probably be better. But you just had moments where, for example, a knight was trying to woo a princess, and then they'd start singing the hero song by Enrique Iglesias, and then the princesses would be singing about wanting the knights, and they'd sing the I Need a Hero song, which I don't know who originally did it, but the one from Shrek, basically, that everyone associates it with. And there were just so many cringe moments. Like, I cried 3 times biting my thumb trying not to laugh out loud, and there was so much laughter in the audience, and I just thought, oh god, I feel so sorry for these cast members. I'd love to know if any of you have seen that one. Yeah. And then the final thing that I saw in July, it's kind of funny, it almost comes full circle, but I went to see Spamalot at the Menhir Chocolate Factory. My friend Emma and I spontaneously booked to see this. We got some rush tickets on Today Tix, which was great because they were £20, and the Menhir Chocolate Factory is a really small venue, so our view was perfectly clear. I I think we were like the 10th row and that was the back row, so really it's tiny. I'd been hearing some sort of like mixed but mostly positive things about Spamalot, and I just thought, you know what, this is going to be something fun to see on a Saturday night, nothing too serious, and I really enjoyed it. I laughed a lot, I thought it was really clever, and the cast were fantastic as well, so I feel like we made a good choice in going to see that. The leg room was much better than the actual Victoria Palace, so that was great. No, it was a really funny show. I think if you're a fan of Hamilton, there's a couple of like in jokes of the like original Broadway cast, so if you kind of are familiar with even the cast recording or who's on it, you know, there are references to that, and it takes the mick out of Lin-Manuel Miranda quite a lot, but in a very, very tongue-in-cheek way. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a good, fun show. So that's everything I saw in July, and there's a couple of other things that I wanted to mention, the first of which is a podcast, because I've become really into podcasts recently. I really enjoy them, and this one is one of my favorites. It's called the Smashed Podcast, so if you're a fan of Smash, you must listen to this. It's so funny. It's about a couple of friends who have a few drinks and then they'll like talk through an episode of Smash, and it's much funnier than the way I just described it. It's very, very funny, like commentary style. I'm obsessed. I love it, and I think the artwork is beautiful as well. It's the first thing that kind of drew me into it. I was like, oh my god, that artwork's amazing. Must listen to it, and now I'm hooked. I love it. There are so many times when I'm like listening to it on the bus and I'm almost fully laughing out loud because it's that funny, and then I'm like, I'm on public transport, I should not be laughing out loud like a crazy person. Another thing I want to talk about is actually a birthday present for my friend Sam, who you may know as Sam for God. It's her birthday actually today when I'm filming this, and she'll have this gift by the time this video goes out, so I don't need to worry. I actually saw this at Broadway Con, these things that I'm about to show you, but they didn't have any that I particularly wanted to buy for myself, but I've always had it in my mind that that'd be a great gift idea. So it's from a company called Scenery, and yeah, it does kind of pick up. So this just looks like a normal bag, but a normal bag it is not. This is actually part of the curtain that they used for Mamma Mia on Broadway. How cool is that? So it's a little like, I don't know what she'll use this for. She'll find a use, I'm sure, but a little like clutchy pouch bag, and it's a piece of Broadway history. I think it's just amazing. And Sam loves Mamma Mia, like she really wants me to go and see it again, and I'm like, okay. But I thought this would be such a cute present for her. I was hoping that it'd be one that's slightly more blue. It's not as white as the camera makes it look, but I just think it's such a cool idea. They've said backdrops come to Scenery from all over the United States. Some are retired because a show closes, others are damaged and no longer usable for the production, and others are taking up space in storage. Instead of throwing these drops away, drops obviously the safety curtain, they are sent to us. Now the drops and the stories they help tell get to live on. Oh, so emotional. So it says your bag was handmade in the USA and is one of a kind. Inside your bag you will find a tag that tells you the show it is from and the number you have out of that collection. Once a drop is cut and sold, it is gone forever, and you get to take home a piece of theatre history. A portion of proceeds from each purchase is donated to TDF's Introduction to Theatre programme. This programme provides middle and high school students with in-class workshops and the chance to attend a Broadway or off-Broadway performance. I'm so emotional. So Sam has obviously Mamma Mia at number 841. Am I reading that correctly? That's insane. Wow. But yeah, it's really, really lovely. And, you know, especially considering that it's not just a pretty bag, but the fact that it goes to like charities. Oh, so emotional. So I think that's amazing. Not only are they really cute little bags, but proceeds go to like good things in the theatre community. That just makes me very happy. So if you want something to put on your birthday or Christmas list, or you know it'll make a great gift for someone, I'll link their website below and you can go and check it out. I would highly, highly recommend it. And the last bit of news that I have is that in July I started a new job. If you follow my channel, if you watch these curtain up videos, you might remember that back in May I was a bit depressed, and I spoke about it. I spoke about how I wasn't very happy with some aspects of my life. I don't think I went into too many details, but my job was something that was really kind of dragging me down mentally, because it was fine as a job, but it wasn't what I wanted to be doing. So I completely redid my CV. I cleaned it all up. I like to design my CVs in like a fun way, and I applied for loads of jobs, heard back from like 2, obviously went for interviews and got this job at a theatre marketing company here in London, obviously. And I know this company, like I've been following them for a couple of years, and now I work for them and it's a dream come true. I'm trying to not be too emo about it in the office. That's my new favourite phrase at the moment. I'm emo about everything, happy or sad. So yeah, I'm trying not to be too much in the office about it, but it's a really big deal for me because this is what I've been wanting to do for the past like 3 or so years. This is what I've been working towards, whether that be through internships or like my blog and now this YouTube channel. Like everything that I've been doing has been to try and get into the job that I'm in now. I might cry. I'm just really, really happy. I've never loved a job this much and I'm only like 2 weeks in. So I am having a wonderful time. This does, however, sadly mean that I will obviously be cutting down on YouTube just because I now have a full-time job. I don't have as much time to create videos. So there's going to be some change around here. Don't know what that change is going to be just yet, but we'll figure it out. As I've mentioned, I am going out to the Edinburgh Fringe and I will still be documenting hopefully all of the shows that I see there, but they're probably going to be a bit more like bite-sized videos, which makes sense as well because obviously the shows are smaller. There probably won't be kind of as much to talk about them, as much to show, but I really do want to make some good videos from the Fringe, so hopefully they won't be bad. But anyway, I've been talking for ages now. I think that's everything I have to say about July, and if I've missed anything, then tough luck. Let me know if you've been to see any of the same shows that I've seen this month. I would love to know your thoughts and opinions. Please do give this video a thumbs up if you've enjoyed this, and subscribe to my channel if you'd like to see more of me in the future. I hope you're all doing really well, and I will see you very soon. Bye!